Hey everybody, it's Andy. Live office hours, helping you build a career you love. Hopefully you're here with me live. I got a great package for you today on how to track and evaluate your job search. But this is a very career-oriented, life-oriented lesson today. So if you are here with me live, get in the chat, say hi, let me know where you're from, let me know what you do, let me know what you need, put some question marks in front of your questions so I can answer them in the Q&A portion of this. And if you are in my job search bootcamp or my leadership program or any of the Mile Walk Academy programs, let me know. Use your hashtag. So what do we got today? Well, I've been thinking a lot. It's January when we're doing this live. And over the last, 4 or 5 weeks, I've been doing a lot of reflecting, a lot of evaluating, and all that good stuff. And I was thinking about, the questions I've been getting from you guys. And it dawned on me that if we are not really experienced in what we're doing, or we've just not seen it a lot, it doesn't matter what it is. Me and my business, you and your job search, or whatever. Maybe you're new. Maybe you're new to a career. When we see things, it's hard to know if they're a pattern and what conclusions we should draw, and what's working, what isn't. And just what's kind of an odd event. And the real risk that we run being inexperienced is we start to draw conclusions, and then we send ourselves on a path, maybe trying to course correct, and it can be very confusing. So what I want to do today is I want to help you in how you should look at, whether it's your job search or anything in your life. How do you look at something? What areas do you evaluate? What data might you need to gather in order to draw these great conclusions? So that's what I want to talk about. That's what we're going to do. And I think I've got a clever way of showing you this with a little bit of a lens through my business. And at the end of the day, where this stuff all comes from is me and my business and what I do and what I can teach you from it. It's you, the community, at these live shows asking me your questions or raising the key points. And it's in my one-on-one coaching sessions where I'm interacting with people, whether they're in my job search bootcamp or high performance coaching, and what they're asking me and what they're wondering. Now, I've talked about how to look at your job search before in a couple of different places at a couple of different times. If you were with me back in December, we did this 4-day shebanger where I gave you 3 email lessons on certain areas that you should be evaluating of the main steps of your job search. And then we came together on the 4th day and did a live show. And I want to call your attention to this little beauty if you haven't grabbed it. It's my 10 by 10 job search formula. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because this is a great tool that helps you in the 10 key areas of the job search. Major steps, major faults, tripwires, the mistakes people make, what you should do instead. And you can evaluate the health of your job search from your desk and what's likely to happen based on how in order you are on certain things. And then in my job search bootcamp, if you're in my premium paying program, my job search bootcamp, I have a tracking tool where I've shown you kind of how to list out the different activities that you are going through in your job search in a very detailed format so that you can run your job search. So between evaluating it from your desk, getting it in motion and running it and keeping track of what you're doing, those are a couple of times where I did this. But what happens when you're in motion and all of these activities are occurring and you're not sure how to read certain things? And let me give you a great example. I was doing a coaching session a couple of weeks ago, somebody who was relatively new in my job search bootcamp. And he said, Andy, I kind of went through the program and I started to go through the job search challenge portion of kind of the exercises. And if you're not familiar with my job search challenge, check it out on the YouTube channel. But ultimately, this is about identifying organizations that you want to work for, people within those organizations, and then sending them messages in attempt to either submit yourself as a potential candidate or build a relationship with them to ultimately get them to help you with your search. So there's a lot of activity here. Well, he said, so I started the challenge. I was going to do it for 7 days in a row, and I was going to send 3 messages a day. And I sent the message on the first day, and I got this really nasty response back from a potential boss who basically scolded me for sending him an email. And he says, what the heck are you doing? And you're supposed to go through our applicant tracking system. It says so on the website. And so my client here, my coaching client, said, and as soon as that happened to me, I was stunned and I stopped doing what I was doing for 3 days. I was thinking maybe this isn't the right approach. And what do we call that? We call that random, right? We call that a unique event because we went on to talk and I said, well, okay, that's just a random butthead, right? That's nothing, right? What happened with the entire week? He said, well, after I, was, disoriented for 3 days, I started it and I did 6 more days in a row. He said, I had faith in you as my coach. Andy's saying to send these messages out. I'm going to do it. And then I'll draw a conclusion after a week, which is not even a long time. But he went on and I said, well, what happened? He said, well, 10 people got back to me, that one person, and then 9 others. I said, what happened from that? So I got 3 interviews, right? So this is what I'm talking about. That one event that occurred for him, the first time he tried something, just coincidentally the first time, was a random event. It's not reality. It's just a random event. And so that was a bad random event. What could be a good random event? How about you, the first time, putting your resume into an applicant tracking system and actually immediately getting a response and an interview? I would call that a random event. It worked in your favor, but still random. If you note the percentages that I tout and the likelihood that you're going to get an interview that way, right? And so what are you doing? You're possibly course correcting with random events. And let me tell you, I wrote this out because I wanted you to see it in a note card, okay? Because this is vital to the way we live our lives, because most people who are inexperienced at whatever they're doing or something that they don't see very often, they course correct based on randomness. So I wrote this little card for you because I want you to remember, maybe take a screenshot of this or catch this on the replay. Problems don't bother me. Randomness bothers me, okay? Randomness bothers me, and it should bother you. Because if you do not have the experience, this is going to happen, and you're going to try to self-correct, and you're going to self-incorrect is what you're going to do. So I don't want you to forget this, that you may be at a spot or a stage in the job searching process, in your sales process, in your marketing process, in your company building process, in whatever, where it was just a random event. It's just random. Okay, so I want you to understand that. And one of the things I told you, for those of you that were with me in the goal setting bonanza we had January 1st through the 8th, last week we had a live session, and I was telling you that I started my training business, this coaching business, in middle of 2015, and then I started selling stuff at the end of 2016, and so now I've been in business for 4 years, and now we're turning into 4 plus almost 5 years, and I had never identified a particular revenue target for the year, right? I didn't feel as though I had enough data to predict what a good outcome was. And you guys know how I feel about outcome goals, and if you don't, get my book, Out of Reach But in Sight. But ultimately, I never did that. So a couple of weeks back, I spent 2 entire days looking at every single month of 2020. And what I did was I got this booklet. So I use these journals, and basically, I don't know if you could see this upside down, but I go through a qualitative and a quantitative analysis, and I look back at everything that occurs. I want to share with you the things that I focused on and how exactly they map to your job search and what I would do if I was you. Because now that I've been in business for a number of years and we've run a number of different events, I went back and I looked through all of it. Because along the way, we try things in different formats at different times of the year to different audiences, different mediums, and all that good stuff. And to give you an idea of the kind of the gyrations that can occur in my business, I remember it was May 14th, 2018, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Maybe you were with me back then. And I did a webcast, a live 3+ hours, taught my butt off. For like 90 minutes I taught, and 90 minutes I answered questions, And at that moment in time, I offered a special pricing sale on one of my programs. 350, almost 360 people attended, and absolutely 0 people bought the program. Now, you got to know, you don't know how hard it is to do to get 0 sales even on my worst day or anybody's worst day, okay? But if I would have assumed that that was a pattern or tried to draw a conclusion that that medium did not work, this would not be happening right now, right? It was a data point. So surprised was I? For sure. But pattern? No way. Because some of the webcasts we have, 20% of the people enroll in programs. Sometimes 10, sometimes 15, sometimes 5. Okay? So didn't have enough data points. So I went back and I looked at everything that I did, and I want to tell you exactly what I did and why I did it, because that one, random butthead boss who gives you a nasty response, that one glowing email you get from a recruiter who wants to talk to you because you stuffed your resume in the applicant tracking system. Randomness doesn't bother me, and randomness bothers me. Problems don't bother me. Randomness bothers me. But the thing that's most important that you got to recognize is that you can eliminate randomness in your analysis by getting more data. So I didn't stop after that webcast that didn't result in a lot of sales or no sales, right? So this is what I'm talking about in your life, in your job search. So I went back for 2020, and here's what I looked at. I looked at 5 things. I looked at the projects, the format, the marketing I did, the results I got, and the conditions that were around it. And Kara, do me a favor. Let me know if it's becoming obsessive. Just slack me again, and I'll swap the mics. All right. So these were the 5 things that I looked at. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, like projects. A lot of you are familiar with my work. So a project could be a 3-day email series. It could be a one-day multi-hour webcast live. Could be a recorded webinar. Could be a 4-day workshop. Right? Could be many things like that. So I looked at all the different projects. Then I looked at the format. Was it live? Was it recorded? Was it via email? Did I email beforehand? Did I email afterhand? Those kind of things. What was the medium by which I delivered it? What marketing did I do? Did I just put some social media messages out and email my email subscribers to my newsletter? Did I market it on Facebook and Instagram or things of that nature? How much did I market? What videos did I use? All those good things. That is the level of marketing that I did. And then what were the results? So what happened? How many people read the messages? How many people showed up to the event? How many people signed up to the event? How many people enrolled in a program in the wake of the event? Those kind of things. And so those are the results. And then conditions. What were the conditions? Well, what day of the week was it? What time of day was it? What was the product itself? And how often was I marketing it? Was it pre-coronavirus, post-coronavirus? Those kinds of things. So I literally went through every single month, practically every single week of the year, and this is what I looked at. And it gave me more consistent looks at what variables, when we change them, actually matter. Because things that I might think matter, once we do them, it may show me that they don't. Okay? But also, if it's the first time that I change the variable, I don't have enough data to draw a conclusion. And this is what happens with a lot of you. So with you, how does this map to what you do? Well, take a look at your projects. Now, I want you to think about, you go through the 10 by 10, you make sure your stuff's in order, okay? You start and you track however you want to do this. If you're in my job search bootcamp, I give you the tool to track it and you can make your notes. But if you're not in my job search bootcamp, you put a spreadsheet together, the little database together. I don't care if you write it on a Word doc, in a journal or in a Word document or whatever. But here's how I would look at it. So your projects are things like, I submitted my resume. I actually sent a message to somebody to connect with them. Maybe I attended an event, right? These are the things that you do that are, now this might have been a very short project, but you will do a lot of these projects, which will help you collect a lot of data. Now, this, you got to look at the second component because the format is what matters. So, which resume version did I send? Did I send the resume version with these particular highlights? And I was searching for a senior product management role. Was it this one where I was searching for a senior project management role kind of thing? So you want to know the resume version, perhaps the cover letter version, perhaps what networking template you used. This is the format of what you sent. Maybe it's I sent it via LinkedIn. Maybe I sent it with a direct email. This is not an exhaustive list. I'm just trying to give you an idea of things that I would make sure I was looking at, because this stuff, you need to accumulate enough data to know which one of these is working. And then how did you market yourself? Well, did you go through the applicant trashing system? First one here. Maybe you boss hunted. Maybe you recruiter hunted. Maybe you HR person hunted. Okay, maybe it was a friend who referred you. So what marketing vehicles did you use? Did you have traffic? Were you trying to target LinkedIn long form posts that you were using? I don't know. And whatever it is, whatever you were doing, but what medium did you use to actually market yourself to get the results that you likely wanted to get? What could the results be? Well, am I getting interviews from applicant tracking systems? Am I getting responses from, or interviews from boss hunting cover letters? If you don't know what the boss hunting technique is, just check it out on my channel. The network responses. Are people actually getting back to me? Are they not? How long is it taking them to get back to me? All interviews to job offers, those kind of things. But what are the concrete things that you can see? These are working, this isn't. Okay, but I think you also need to look at the conditions. So the conditions, well, when I'm sending the boss hunting letter, am I sending it to the manager or am I sending it to the VPs? We had an individual in the job search bootcamp who was a managerial level, and he thought by sending his boss hunting cover letters to other managers that he would have better results. But I said, no, you need to send it up the chain. You have to go after directors and vice presidents. And as soon as he did that, as soon as he made that one change, he immediately started getting a 50% response rate. So these are conditions or part of the makeup of the environment that you're sending it in. Is it a small company? Is it a large company? Right? Is my job, does my job consistently report to the same person within a particular organization, or can it be in various divisions? These things are conditional, they matter. When did I send the message? Did I send it on a weekend? Do you know that our emails, we send emails on any given day throughout the week, depending on what the email is and what the message is that I'm communicating with you. But no matter what message we send on Sunday, gets more opens than on any other day of the week. I would have never thought that, right? So these are things you need to be capturing. Were there lots of applicants? Am I going on LinkedIn and they're saying there's 4,000 applicants, and you're trying to submit your resume and you think you're a perfect fit, but there's 4,000 applicants, right? That matters. Is there 4 other applicants or 4,000, right? These kind of things matter. So I would take a look at the project itself, the format you're using, the marketing medium that you're using, as well as what the results are. And then based on the results, are there associated conditions? Now, from a metrics standpoint, you can look at all of this, and this takes some time to gather the data. Now, I know we all would like to find our dream job within a week, but some of you have been searching for weeks, and some of you have been searching for months, and some of you have been searching for a year, right? The data and the accumulation of this kind of data will genuinely help you. But the other thing is, there are some metrics that I would obsess over that serve as a little reminder that from Andy to you, you are doing the right things and you will get results. But I've talked about these before. You want to make sure that no matter what you're doing, you're tracking the number of companies that you've identified, the number of people that you've communicated with. Have you built a relationship or started any kind of relationship, right? Because not every person that I contact is going to turn into an acquaintance or a relationship, even if it's a cool one, maybe it's a warm one. Thoughtful messages that you send and the interviews that you've received. These are the 5 metrics I would absolutely obsess over that tells you you are in motion properly, okay? Even if you haven't evaluated it this way that I've shown you with the projects through the results and conditions, this element over here, when you're looking at the kind of the 5 new ones that I just showed you, is helping you determine how to make adjustments in your search based on the results you're getting, based on the other factors. This here is telling you that you've come a long way and you are doing the right motion. Now, the evaluating of the results based on the conditions is going to help you make the adjustments. Should I alter when I send the messages? Should I alter the cover letter that I'm using? Should I actually just keep going and consider that a random event? That kind of stuff. So really quick, just to recap it here. Focus on the project, focus on the format, the marketing, the results, and the conditions. This will help you course correct effectively, okay? And it will help you get rid of randomness. Randomness is evil when it comes to making adjustments. Just remember that. All right, hope you enjoyed that. And inside of about 20 minutes, love it. I hope you enjoyed that. I got plenty of time for you for the Q&A today. If you're watching me on the recording, I'll see you next week. For those of you that are here, I got a couple of quick announcements, and then I'm going right into the Q&A. But first, Kara, can you tell me, was the mic, was it clipped out? Was it like cutting out, or was it just, it sounded like I was standing back from it? Can you just let me know that? Forgive me for a second, folks. I got an entirely new setup. I've been having some mic trouble lately. All right. While she's checking that, don't forget to grab this. All right. So, Kara, drop this in the link, or Stacy or somebody drop this in the link. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do, because you know it hurts me when you don't get my new stuff. Okay, it really does. I want to tell you, I got a great, hang on, Kara's typing, and I want to get this. Sorry for the drag out here, but I got a lot of time for you today. Hang on. All right, she's still typing. Mike was not cutting out, soundifying, says static. Okay, I'm going to keep going with this. I'll listen to it on the recording. If you're enjoying this, click the thumbs up, and I think you're going to click the thumbs up because of what I'm about to show you. All right. January, I've got tons of interviewing stuff coming out, and I hope you're tracking me on YouTube and on Instagram. Make sure you're with me on Instagram. I got loads of stuff, 2 videos a day, really short, powerful, 1 to say 7-8 minuters, 2 a day of those, and a lot of content for you. And I've got a 4-day workshop that we're going to be holding February 1st through February 4th. If you did not see this in either the, on social media, or maybe some of you got an email about this, I mentioned this in the email I sent you this morning about live office hours. We've got a, it's the first, let me see if I can do this, 1st through the 4th, be teaching you my interview and methodology. It breaks down like this. First day is on prepping. I'm going to give you everything you need to know about prepping for an interview. I've got a killer booklet with tons of checklists and everything in it. Second day is going to be about answering the job interview questions, so any kind of interview question. And then the 3rd day is going to be about asking your questions, what to ask, how to ask it, where they come from, all that good stuff. And then because I get umpteen questions every week about when do I follow up, how do I follow up, who do I follow up with, when do I send the message, I'm covering all that. So it's pretty cool. Every day at 11, I want to call your attention to, I know you're going to ask me this, am I going to leave the replays up? I'm going to leave the replays up while we're doing this event. And if you are interested in this, just sign up. I've got a great program, some pre-stuff for you. We'll be sending you messages each day that might be nice little keepsakes for you. The other thing is, if you want more additional coaching, I thought a lot about this over the holidays. I was watching what was happening with the coronavirus. We're not getting in any better shape. I am going to be revamping the program, my job search bootcamp program. But right now, as it stands, you can get my entire program and online support and live coaching support all bundled together. We are going to be changing this, but I'm trying to give you one last hurrah at getting this Uber bundle deal. And so I've kept it on special. It's on special till February 12th and January 22nd. And then every single day after the job interview mastery program. And additionally, on February 12th, I'm going to be having private group coaching sessions with the boot campers. If you are on the fence, jump in. This is the lowest price you're ever going to get, the best deal you're ever going to get. It runs out February 12th, but if you jump in now, you'll be able to take advantage of those 6 extra private coaching sessions. So if you jump in now, you can run through the whole program and join me on the 22nd, which is next Friday, for a private group coaching session. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to go out with a bang here with this bundle package. So get in. Believe me, the online support and the live group coaching support is a big deal, and it's getting to the point where it's difficult for me to keep up. To be perfectly honest with you, and so we're gonna be decoupling those, and the extra coaching is gonna be an additional cost. So I hope you take some time and you look at that. I think I would like to go to the chat now and start answering some questions. And can we all get a shout out for my mother, Miss Amelia, who was first online today? Mom, love you so much. Everybody in the house is good. Harley's with me. Ginger's upstairs with Linda, who's on my Mrs. LaCivita, who's on a Zoom teaching session, I'm guessing. So great to have you and see you in the chat, Mom. All right, John Filing. Thanks to the resume writing course and job search challenge, I started a new job last week. At a great marketing ops company. They have asked me to write a bio for HR. Any advice on what to include? Okay, wait, hang on. Let me get you up here, buddy. Okay, can we all get a high 10 first for John? And buddy, congratulations. So, I love this question, and you know why I love this question? Because no one's ever asked me this question before. So you know who else is going to love this question? Stacy, because it's going to give her some new social media content to circulate. All right, so one of the things that I would have loved to know, John, because this will matter. So it's a great marketing operations company, but I can't recall if you've ever mentioned this to me, what your specific role is. And the bio, to me, depends on the capacity that you're operating in. Because if you are, as an example, an external facing resource, you want to talk about your history of changing and improving companies as it relates to, right? You want to talk about in your bio. Remember something. The most attractive thing about a bio that's on a website is about the value you've contributed to others. And others could be the customers. It could be your internal customers. It could be your companies. It could be the market or the industry. Did you develop a patent? Did you develop a methodology? These kind of things. So what would somebody who was looking at you externally care about? Okay. That's if the bio is public, all right? Now, it just says a bio for HR. Well, I don't know what the use of the bio is. If the bio is going on the website, then you want to make sure that you're highlighting the external-facing, value-driven stuff that you did and the results that you attained, okay? If it's internal and it's circulated only on, the internal knowledge bank or system for people inside the organization, you're going to want to talk about how you would help your teammates and the experience that you have and what the subject areas are that you are an SME or subject matter expert, as we like to loosely call them, but something like that. So that's what I would do. Now, normally what will happen is if it's internal based, you likely will have fields that they will want you to populate. And by fields, I mean it can be figurative, right? Give us this, 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 and this. Everybody gives us this, right? Everybody wants to know where you were born. Everybody wants to know what your hobbies are. Like there could be some of that. It could be a cookie cutter kind of thing. So those are my thoughts on that. It isn't so much the advice of what to include as much as I would say, figure out the usage, figure out if there's a formula where they want you to adhere to, because if it's internal or external. And the other thing that you can always do, I'll leave you with this, is look at what the other bios are like. Say, hey, can you give me a sample of somebody who's like me, who you are using it in the same fashion that you would use mine, right? And assume that they've done a little, copy editing and that kind of stuff. Lots of luck, buddy. Congratulations on that, and hopefully Stacy got a picture of your nice victory there. All right, let me roll down. Oh, there's Laura Cobb. Hey to you. Happy birthday again from last week. Catherine B, my boot camper. Great to see you. And Kat and Kara is telling me that here's your full question. Hang on. Hi, Andy. I made it, anticipating an offer from company A any minute. Second interviews today with company B and C. Love it. My boot camper. Have you guys been over to the testimonials page for the boot camp? Kat just is a raging machine and gets offers left and right. The biggest concern is how negotiating is perceived by a future employer. I don't want them to have any resentment or draw the wrong conclusions about me because I was a tenacious negotiator, just looking for you to riff about late stage multi-offer situations. Okay, Kat, number one. I'm going to make this quick for you, okay, because you have the assets. In the boot camp, there is the video. This is nowhere in the public domain. It's only in the boot camp about how to handle multiple job offers. You need to watch that if you have not seen that already. And actually, I might have added that after you went through it the first time. So go to that. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. The second thing is to answer your specific question about will they draw the wrong conclusions. I do not feel that they will if you use my tactics for salary negotiation, because my tactics for salary negotiation, which I know you have used successfully to more than double your salary, ensure that they will not take it the wrong way, because there's a balance between pushing to get what you want and leaving a bad taste in their mouth. So the short answer is no, I would not worry. The tactical answer is go watch that video in the boot camp. It's in the negotiation module, module 5. There's a short version that's outside the main one that talks about this specific thing. And the reason, Kat, we put it in there was because we were getting so many boot campers with multiple offers that I had to make a whole section for them, a whole session for them. So check that out. Lots of baby. And you know how much I love you. You really do. Go bring it home and let me know. Shoot me a text. All right. Let me see. We got another one here. Laura Com. Full question. Yes, you are a boot camper and a leader, a beloved at that, and just had a birthday. Offered perfect job 45 minutes after second interview. Oh, awesome. Okay. My niche, 100% remote, no billing, insurance, crap, collaboration, opportunity for growth, 30 hours a week, so can work on business, yet she has a side business, and 30% less than I like. Yet don't have to buy a car, no work clothes, no commute. This stuff adds up. It adds up. Can work in chunks and can work at 10 or 29 and a half. What is comparison-wise? How much are these worth? Okay. So this is a large portion of Laura's question. So first thing is, my boot camper and my leader, can we get her congratulations for a job offer? And I hope what you guys are seeing is that regardless of the global conditions out there, organizations are hiring. I cannot stress that enough. Laura, So here's how I look at this. If you're working 30 hours a week and not 40, let's just make it real simple. If the 40-hour a week job pays 100 grand for easy math, then the 30-hour a week job should pay 75, kind of thing. Okay. So first thing I would do is I might look at that as a sanity check. Second thing that I do is no one can tell you specifically what that's worth. If having your freedom, being able to do your side hustle, right? But not having to buy work clothes, right? Like you guys, I had to go into my closet and pull out my nice shirts because I've been blowing through all my t-shirts, right? Like that matters. Now, I cannot place a specific value on that because it's only relevant to you. It's the value you place. I always say to you all, right? No one can tell you what to like. You like what you like. You value what you value. So if it's me working out of my house, I value that way high. Not having to travel, I value that way high. Every school year, when my wife comes home with the sniffles because she can't get away from the kids and the teachers with the colds and stuff, I value the fact that I haven't been sick in about 20 years, right? Because I've been working from home. Like these are all these little things that you need to think about. So, think about what gasoline costs. Think about what a car costs. Think about what insurance costs. Think about all that stuff. And only you can say what you value. But this much, I'll leave you with this. If this was me and I had an opportunity to work in a job that I loved at a fraction of the hours and had the freedom to start building my side hustle, I would take it. I would take it and I wouldn't look back. And I would make everything I could out of the 30-hour a week job, and I would then spend another 30 hours and work on my business. Okay, that's what I would do, honest to goodness, and that's worth a lot. And here's another thing, 30 grand less than you like, if I could just say it this way, just remember this, the 30 grand is 20 grand to you, okay, because you got to take the taxes out, right? The 20 grand, how much is that an hour at 2,000? Hours, right? Is it worth $10 an hour? Kind of thing. That's what that is, right? When you start cutting this out. So that's how I look at life. I wish you a lot of luck. I'm so proud of you. I am. I really am. I hope you guys give her a big clap. That's great, Laura. Let me know how it goes. Tony, my boot camper leader from Clearwater. Listen, my wife and I were just talking yesterday about how we're going to, that's first spot on the LaCivita destination once we feel safe to fly. All right. And then Kat's going on about her offers. William, my boot camper and leader. Look at this. Beth, my Betrovert, we can't wait to see you two in Clearwater. Start your new job Tuesday, so I'll miss out on live office hours, but you please better not miss out on sending me messages and letting me know how you're doing. You are so great, and I really appreciate. Wait, hang on. Can you guys give her a big high 10? She just moved from the Midwest to a much balmier weather in Florida. And Beth, I really appreciate the you coming into the leadership program, the joining the sessions, giving us the feedback at the feedback session in December. We're looking into a lot of that stuff. I'm really looking forward to meeting you when we come to Florida. And please do stay in touch. I love to hear how you guys are coming along. I really do. All right. That's just so great. Yes, I would agree with Tony. I do think tenacity and pushing a little when you negotiate is a good thing. Is it Gosi? Great to see you. All right. First timer at live office hours from Macedonia. Great to have you. Can we give Gosi, I hope that's how you pronounce it, a big high 10. I love newcomers to live office hours. I have so much fun here during the week. Thursdays are my favorite day of the week. They are. I like Thursdays even more than I like Fridays, except when I have coaching sessions on Fridays with my groups. Pilar, hi to you. Ilana, great to see you. From Toronto, hey Sue. All right, give me the questions. Good morning, baby girl. Doug, how you doing? My biker friend. Victor, going to be 52 degrees. Oh, man, Seattle, that's awesome. I've been running in 20-degree weather. Daisy, Deb, Karen, oh my God, my boot campers. Great to see you. Hey, Flying Uber Tuber. Marie from the other side of the pond. Wow, you guys, and Bob, great to see you. All my boot campers here. You guys, and Kevin and Cycling Tronica, my boot camper. Vicky, great to have you as a leader too. Okay, wait, does anybody have any questions? Hey, Martha, Noel, all these guys are boot campers. They know the value of being in the program and the community. I love that. Mashid from Toronto, Jennifer Garrity, Saint Elizabeth. Oh, Elizabeth, great to see you the other day. And Hiya, how you doing? And yes, Mrs. LaCivita is here too. James, Teresa. Wait, and you know what? I love that you guys have your pictures in there. It helps me remember. And highly favored, how are you, my boot camper? All right, Mercedes. Does anybody have a question? Question here, Sue. I will be interviewing with a company tomorrow. They will be paying $20K less than what I made previously, but their benefits are awesome. If they ask, what is my expected salary, what do I say? Okay, Sue, love this. All right, so, all right, when you look at your package, I cannot stress enough, it's really important that you look at the whole thing. And now there's a question about, did you actually let them know you made you made 100 and they're offering you 80? They may not know that, okay? They might have just come in 20K light, not knowing. So I don't know if you disclosed your salary. And actually, good news for all of you. In, I think on Tuesday, January 26th, so some of you might be watching this on a replay, and this might be after that, I'm coming out with a video about what you need to know about disclosing your salary. So that's upcoming. Now, I would negotiate, and I wouldn't say you're 20K light. I would negotiate based on my principles, right? You got to show your value, why you're worth it, and all that good stuff. Don't assume that you have to rationalize your way into a compromise before you've ever negotiated. If the benefits are awesome, the benefits are awesome. Great, that's cool. But you're still 20K light in your head. Maybe you're 30K light. Right? So I would go and I would ask for 30K more, 20K more, whatever it might be. Now the other thing that's difficult for me here is there's a difference when you earn 20K or 40K and they offered you 20, or versus, you were earning 220 and they offered you 200. Okay. The likelihood of the increase is going to be greater the higher up you go. So I would refer you back to my salary negotiation playlist. But the one thing that I will leave you with very quickly, when you do negotiate this, it's important that you use a rationale to explain. So by rationale, I mean, what's the value you're going to contribute? Try to push them that way. And in the discussion, push them toward the value you're going to create. If they're still not biting, then what you do as a backup is you start to put in additional information that helps clarify for them your context and how you're thinking. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to come in and I'm going to be able to accelerate this, redesign that, which is going to result in, okay, that's you pitching your value. But if they say, hey, Andy, that's great, or Sue, that's great, but we still think this is the number. Say, okay, tell you what, one of the other reasons is I currently earn 100. You're offering me 80. So now I want you to know where my head is. See, some of you get nervous about disclosing things, but sometimes disclosure is important because of a couple things. I'm not going to go into the whole psychology behind it, but if you're interested in a really cool article and study that was done back in the 70s by Ellen Langer and Arthur Blank, they've done studies. This is not the only one, but it's just one that's fresh off the top of my head, about when you explain rationale. And if you Google them and ostensibly thoughtful action, you would think that the rationale that you're providing is germane to somebody deciding something. They've proven that the rationale that you're using is not nearly as important as using a rationale, even if it's ridiculous or placebic in nature. Okay, well, I want the 20K because I want 20K more, right? That actually is more powerful than not saying anything at all, kind of thing. So what you can say is, well, it's important for me to be, at or near 100 because I'm currently earning that. And if you can't get me there or get me closer, then I'm going to have to consider, the entire package and whether it's worth the move. What you've told them is, this is where my thought process is. So even if you don't value me now, if you don't value my argument now, do you value that I'm going to walk away? They say, all right, Sue, we understand that. We're going to give you 10. It's as high as we can go. You say, okay, call it a day if you want or not. But you insert the because followed by your rationale as a secondary attempt to negotiate. It's important. It's powerful. It really is. Check that study out as well. It's pretty cool. It really is. Anybody who's been around for a while, study psychology, will know those things. So check that out. I hope that helps, and lots of luck to you. All right. Wait, and Kat is saying, I don't know how far down that is, but Kat, who we were just talking about, who just got a couple of the offers, said related, one of the things that when she got in the job search bootcamp program, that she didn't believe it, but Andy has some magic words for salary and it worked. Use the magic words from the bootcamp. There's a lot more detail, obviously, in the paid program. Even if you were all the way down the line and interviewing with somebody, it is worth getting in the program because there's so much more about how to negotiate more effectively. Plus, you have access to me. It's really something to consider. Kat, I appreciate that testimonial, and Sue, lots of luck with that. I hope it pans out. Ken, my boot camper, and Eliza, my VIP. Here we go. We're going to pull you right up. All right. Eliza, if I'm a new employee, my boss wants me to help another employee with an ongoing project, employee not taking my help, what can I do? Okay. Here's, based on the way you made this sound, meaning, Andy says to Kara, hey, Stacy's working on something, can you give her a hand? Okay. The best way that works is I'm talking to Stacy and I'm saying, okay, hey, do you need some help? Do you want some help? Right? And where could you most use the help? Okay? And kind of get some guidance and then facilitate. Now, if the boss has not yet done that, that would have been the first course of action. So should this ever happen again, if your boss says, hey, we want you to go help, Kara, I want you to go help Stacy. If I have not communicated with Stacy yet, then Kara should say to me, well, Andy, have you mentioned this to her? Okay? Because it's important that the boss facilitates that. Then what would happen most effectively is for Kara to go to Stacy and say, hey, Andy asked me to give you a hand. How could I most effectively help you? Where do you need it the most? Or what can I do to help you? Instead of just jumping in and doing it. So the request that I respect you and I want to help you in the greatest capacity that I can is the best way to go about it. But if your boss has indicated to you that he or she wants you to do that, I would immediately say, did you speak with him or her? And how receptive were they? Oh, they were a little reluctant. They want to do it on their own. Okay, well, why don't you just ask them if there's anything that they don't want to do, and I'll help them do that, or something like that. That facilitation by your boss and you coming at it from that vantage point is what will make it work. That greases the skids, and then you come in where they're not in a defensive posture. That's what I would do. And I would try to jimmy rig it if you're already engaged with that person. But I think that will work. And if you got a new job and you have not told me, shame on you. So you need to send me a message. So, but I'll let you hear about that. All right, hope that helps. Mike, Rose, look you. Wait. Well, thank you. Can we all give guy, Mike, I hope I'm not calling you out here. Mike's, yes, he is a boot camper. Yes, he is a leader. He is an all-around great guy. And he just finished his 60-minute panel presentation. Went well. Thank you for your help on Tuesday. Added more quantitative numbers to presentation. Was a big help. Yes. Can we give him a high five? This is a boot camper who he and I got together on Tuesday. He put together a presentation that he had to give to 6 people over an hour. He had 40 minutes of presenting and 20 minutes of Q&A. And we crushed it. Well, he crushed it. I helped a little. So, buddy, I'm so happy for you. And that's a little peek into how the boot campers tap into me on a one-on-one basis. Hey, I got a 6-panel interview and I got to present, and this is it, man. I crush this, I get the job. So there's a lot of advantages that you can have when you enroll in that program. Mike, great news, man. I love to hear it. Paridi, how are you? And Bonnie Relford, awesome to have you. Builder Mario. Here we go. Builder Mario. Do you offer resume assistance with gaps? Ma, do you have a link for that? I do. So any of you that have gaps in your resume, I would check out my video on how to handle employment gaps. I actually talk about that in that video. And I also would check out some of my resume writing videos because I also address gaps there. And it depends when that gap is. You know, are you currently in a gap, or did you have a gap back in 2008 that was like 12, 13 years ago? So check that out. Basil, how you doing, buddy? Great to see you jumping in and engaging in the boot camp. Born on this day. Let's just put this up here. Andy, been getting a series of rejection notices, and the message I get is they went with another candidate. How can I overcome the odds of multiple candidates to get the job offer? Born on this day, I have a video on how to handle when multiple job candidates are there. So how to handle your interviewing process with multiple job candidates. If you search my YouTube channel for multiple job candidates, I take you through all the details. And one other video I want to point you to is the 6 big questions you should ask in your recruitment screen or your interview screen or something like that. If you type the word screen in there, it will come up. And the reason that I want to point you to that is part of being able to be effective through an interviewing process when you have multiple candidates is some of the questions that you ask up front in the very first part of the process. And then there's things you need to do along the way. So, and then one other one I would throw in there, and I know you didn't mention this, but any of you that are interviewing where there are multiple candidates and any of the candidates are internal candidates, there's other things you need to do. I have a video on that. Type internal candidate, it will come up, how to beat out the internal candidate. Bjorn, go get him. Kevin Leroy. You know what? I like this question. I think we've gotten it a few times. All right, so Kevin, my boot camper here. What are your thoughts on signing up for LinkedIn Premium? I got one gifted to me and it's about to expire, wondering if it's worth to sign up on my own. Well, the first thing I would ask you is, you got it gifted to you. Have you been finding any benefits to it? Now, I have mixed emotions about LinkedIn Premium. So number one, you're in the boot camp, which means we've shown you how to email direct, how to break the LinkedIn database, get the person's information, and then email them direct. And you never need to use any LinkedIn in mailing or any of that stuff. Okay, so we can bypass that if you want to be frugal. If you would like the ability to send some in-mails and things of that nature, I would get the lowest level. Like my LinkedIn Premium is $19.95 a month. Now, I don't know if they have that plan anymore, but I would get the lowest level, like the lowest level, like lower than low, and try that out. And I don't even know, they keep changing the dang packages. And the other thing, Kevin, and anybody who's in my job search boot camp, but for anybody who's in the job search boot camp, you know I talk about this. Anybody who's not in the job search boot camp, you need to be really careful as you are using LinkedIn. If you are using LinkedIn search features inside of LinkedIn's website, they are tracking what you're doing, and the only reason that matters is because if you keep doing it, they're going to put you in LinkedIn jail, and they're going to lock you out, and then you're going to have to wait till your month is over, or the month is over, for them to allow you back in to search inside of LinkedIn. There's restrictions. The results they give you back will be restricted. Okay. In the job search boot camp, we teach you how to use Google. to access the LinkedIn database. It's different. That way they don't know what you're doing. That way you're not on their radar like you're doing something freaky, because what they think is, well, this is a power user. They should be paying for our programs, like a LinkedIn recruiter or like a sales package or something like that, when that's actually not the case. They don't know you're a job seeker, right? All they know is you're looking for people. You could be selling them something. That's why that happens. All right. They don't know that you're a project manager or business analyst out of work, right? Or something like that. So mixed emotions. If you're going to get in, get the lowest level. That's my recommendation. I don't think it's that valuable. Karen. All right. Here we go. All right, here you go, boot camper. Can you preempt backlash from direct emails by stating in your cover letter that you follow the firm on their website, ATS? Karen, I wouldn't even bother. That little example I gave you in the package earlier about the boot camper who, I was having like 7,000 boot campers. There's like 3 times I've gotten notified by people who got freaked out because somebody responded poorly, like, go put that in the applicant tracking system. You shouldn't be bothering me. Those people are buttheads, okay? I would not have buttheads modifying my approach to how I want to run my business, run my life, run my email sending of my resumes and all that good stuff. I would not worry about backlash. I wouldn't. If somebody says, hey, Karen, would you put it in the applicant tracking system? You say, hey, thanks, I will, right? And can you let me know the recruiter in charge so I can contact them and make sure they got it and this and that, right? Don't even worry about it. That's my take on that. Don't let the tail wag the dog, okay? You go, you go, you go. Don't you worry. Karen B, from down the block, how do? Catherine, I thought this was also streamed on LinkedIn and Facebook. We used to do that. I stopped. So, you know this thing I was talking about here? This thing, I said, I looked at the projects. We looked at the data of what was happening on LinkedIn and Facebook. And what I deemed was that the ability to reach people on a platform that was not YouTube was not outweighing the additional cost it was for me, my team, the technology stuff and hoops we had to jump through, and all that good stuff. So we did a number of them, and then we deemed that not worth it. And you obviously are here with me, so I love that you're here on YouTube. And this is much easier to manage. And there's 3 of us right now from the Mile Walk Academy that are here. I'm doing the talking. Karen and Stacy are here. They're helping me work. When we had all those chats going, what we found is that the experience for the main body of people that were here was being degraded because of our inability to manage all of that as well. So that's why that happened. Let me see. What do I got here? All right, Iran. Hey, Andy, had a call with a recruiter nearly 2 weeks ago about a position I'm really interested in. Awesome. Recruiter said they would get back to me, but has yet to do so. Should I contact them? Okay. Number 1, Iran, you need to come to the job interview mastery workshop that I showed you, because on Thursday, February 4th, I'm going into this in nauseating detail. Okay, that's the first thing. I cannot stress enough how cool that's going to be. Number 2 is when you are interacting with anybody at any time in any interview, what's the next step? By when are you going to know? And who's going to contact me? In this case, if you were talking to the recruiter, it might have been the screen, so it might have been the only person you'd engage with. I would have asked the recruiter, okay, this is great. What would be the next step in the process? What's your timing on this? When will you get back to me? They were going to say one of a couple things. I'm evaluating different candidates, and if you are selected, I will call you. Okay, by when? All right, no problem. Wait, no, I like you. I'm gonna contact you by the end of next week. Okay, great. Because you need to know this information so that you know when to follow up. Because if I said to you, hey, over the next 2 weeks, I have to go through all the candidates, I have to interview them, and I have to determine and make a determination, you know not to contact me for 2 weeks, then I'm not even going to get in touch with you. And if I do, that's great. It's a bonus. But okay, so then you wait the 2 weeks, then you wait a couple days, right? If I say, Ron, I got to go talk to the hiring official. Okay, that's great. By when are we going to do that? Well, he's out of town. He's not going to be back till Monday. All right. Now you're thinking, all right, great. All right. So if I don't hear back from you by the end of next week, should I circle back? Right? Like, have this dialogue. Now, so not knowing whether you did any of that, at this point, based on your situation, that's what I would just go back to the recruiter and say, hey, I'm really interested. It's been a couple weeks. I wanted to follow up to see if there was any news or whatever you want to say. All right. But here's the key. Here's the key that you all need to put into your message. If there's no news or if there's no decision made yet or whatever, by when do you expect to know whether I will be selected, whether I will be notified, whether I will be contacted, whether we will move to the next step, whether, okay? They may not know. He might be waiting for the hiring official to get back to him or her, right? So you just say, if there is no news, by when do you think you might have an answer? Use whatever language you want. Just make sure the spirit of that's in there, because what they're now doing is they're now giving you a date that you can put in your calendar and say, if I don't hear from them by Friday, I'm going to wait till Tuesday and I'm going to contact them, kind of thing. That's what I would do. So to answer you right now, get in the job interview mastery just because it's cool and I'm covering all this stuff. And number 2, I would immediately, the moment I stop talking right here, you email that person, ask if there's any news, and ask if there's not any news, when there might be and when they might contact you. Good luck with that, buddy. All right. Hello, Bob. How you doing? All right, what do we got? Yeah, I got some stuff in my eye. All right. Bob, Chief Strategy Officer, how high up the food chain do you go in the boss searching for a job? So, Bob, I would spend 90% of my time searching for small to medium-sized companies, and I would go after the CEO. That's me, or the president, or the chief operating officer, depending on the size of the company. So you specifically will have a substantially higher rate of response and likelihood of being hired if you go to a small to medium-sized company and you hit the highest level people. Okay, so, and if you want to go a tick mark down, that's fine too. The higher up you go, the larger company size you go, then you're going to have to start you could be the main strategist in a particular division. Now you're starting to triangulate where you might fit in. So that's my feedback. I think I've given that to you before. I would do it that way. I really would. I would spend an entire month doing nothing but that. All right, lots of luck, buddy. All right, Basil, my monk. I'm a regional sales manager, applied for 3 jobs at a company, just had my first interview yesterday for sales rep, second interview tomorrow, Friday. Told the HR recruiter I applied for another job, director of sales, with her company as well. She said, we encourage you to apply to as many positions as you like. We're okay with that. Asked if it's okay that it's not a sales manager, said no problem. What do you recommend if the sales job runs faster than the director of sales? Okay, this is great. All right, so a couple things. All right, number 1, is it okay to apply to multiple jobs? Guess what, Basil? I got a video on that. Check out, on the YouTube channel, my video on is it okay to apply to multiple jobs? Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing I'm going to say is when you apply to multiple jobs, there's multiple dimensions to do this. There's in the same array, the same field, individual contributor, right? Regional vice president of sales, right? All the same. It's a matter of level. If that's the case, then don't worry about applying to all of them. You just get in the process. They'll vet that out, okay? And if that's the case, trust me, if what I just said is actually there are openings for different levels within the company, you are likely dealing with a small to medium-sized company that can handle all of this. You're not dealing with a very large company, and if you are dealing with a very large company, and that is the case, they will still sort it out. And you can go and put your stuff in the applicant tracking system. It's not going to make any difference, okay? Because they're eventually going to get you in with the same suite of people, and they will sort it out. All right, so you need to, in those cases, even if you don't apply to all the positions, you need to get all the job descriptions. And I've told you guys this on many occasions. When I go in for an interview and I have the job description, I have 3 job descriptions that I go in that interview with. What are they? The one below, the one I'm targeting, and the one above. Why? Because you need to make sure that you have the skills where you can crush this one, and you might even be closer to the next one than you'd imagine. But in your stories that you talk about, you can look at, hey, I'm like 75% of the way to that next level, right? Kind of thing. You need to know that. All right, so Basil, that's the first thing. Second thing is, what if it's like this? I don't know what I'm doing with my arms today, but I'm over here. I'm looking at product management. I'm looking at project management. I'm looking at business analysis. Now you're looking at different fields. I'm looking at sales engineer. I'm looking at support engineer. Now you're looking at different types of positions that could be with different managers. If that's the case, it's okay if you apply to 2 that are closely related, meaning this one's a pre-sales engineer and this one is a post-sales engineer, or this one's a sales engineer, or this one's a product engineer, or whatever. That's generally the same family, and you're talking about a couple different variations in job duties. That's okay. If you're like, I want to go apply for a marketing position over there, and I want to go apply for an accounting position over there, because like people do this. This is really, it happens. Don't do that. Okay, so I've just given you kind of the 3 possibilities and how I would handle that. I'm not a big believer in I have to get my resume in their system in all these different stages. Believe me, they will be able to sort this out. This happens very often. And as a recruiter, this happened quite a lot where companies would be, we did people, can you go get us a bag carrying salesperson? It's actually, you know what, this person's kind of a big dog here, right? Kind of thing. Or, I know you were looking for this marketing specialist, but this person really could be, your event manager kind of thing. This stuff was happening often, and it does. And companies get that. They do. All right, lots of luck, buddy. Glad you're getting traction. And then Kara's catching me here before I get off this subject, Basil. You already applied in interview with this. In interview with the second choice, asking if I should wait for the choice. So here's what I do. This goes to your state of mind of whether you need the job or whether you want to wait it out for the right job. But the higher the need I am for needing the job, then what I would say is I want to join you in the capacity where I'm going to make the greatest impact. If that's the director of sales, that's great. If it's the sales rep position, that's great. What I would say is, when I'm interviewing with them, which of these positions matters more to you right now? And because honestly, you could get the sales rep position, start performing well, and then they immediately see, well, hang on, this guy's got the goods, right? You're a senior guy, right? We can move him over. But I'm always about, and I've told you this, when you guys get into the tell me about yourself situation, the most powerful messages, and by the way, I'm using that figuratively, like any story that you're telling them about you, when you're answering an interview response, you should be highlighting and harping on where their gap is, the biggest challenges, and their biggest needs, and how what you have in experience and skill sets matches to that, because that is what they're going to jump on first. If you're over here talking about how great you are, but they need this over here, even though you're awesome and even though you might be a perfect fit for the role, you don't get the job because you didn't match it up for them. So for you, we're talking about one level or another. Now, does the director of sales have a bunch of reports? Is that it could just be in title. Some organizations just have director titles and just means you're a more senior sales rep. Okay? If it's truly a differentiator where they need somebody with managerial experience that you do have, then say, which one do you need most? If I say to you, we need them both equally, so then I would prefer this role, right? Kind of thing. So that's what I would do there. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Lots of luck with that. All right. How are we doing here? 12:09. All right. Victor. Ooh, Sent the boss hunting to an open position. How much time to allow for the follow-up? How you doing, buddy? All right. Sent the boss hunting email to an open position. How much time to allow for follow-up if no response received? How much time to allow before applying online if no response from hunting email follows up? Okay. So I want to drive this point home first. I talked about my funnel. If you haven't seen the funnel, okay, this is you. You are now a marketing machine. This is you sending out your resume. So up here is a boss hunting cover letter that you've sent, a boss hunting message. It's a message that you targeted to HR. It's a message you targeted to the recruiters. It's a networking message you sent to your friend who has a friend over at such and such a company, all that stuff. 90% should be spent doing this. The exchanging or the following up or the middle of the pack where you're trying to work stuff that you already put in motion, I would spend very little time. So this is the first thing. So every time I sent a boss hunting cover letter, I would almost send it out and be like, I don't really care what happens. Okay? They get back to me, great. If not, I don't really care. Because right now I'm going to spend number 2 and number 3. And then tomorrow I'm going to spend 4, 5, and 6. And the next day I'm going to spend 7, 8, and 9. And so on. Okay? That's what you need to do. That's the mindset. That's you having more biddas, balls in the air. And that's you not caring about getting back to somebody who you sent a message to 20 contacts ago. That's the first thing. Second thing is, how long would I wait? Well, if I sent it to somebody and I really, really wanted that company, I really, really like that person, I'd wait about a week and I'd send another message. Okay, now mind you, if you take time, even if it's 3 seconds, to forward your message and say, hey, are you still interested in this? Or I'm still interested, I'd love to connect with you. That still takes time away from something else. Now, if I'm gonna follow up with the boss and I'm gonna do it in a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, that's the extent of what I would send them. Hey, I wanted to follow up on this. I'm still interested in connecting. Would you be open to it? That's it. That's the whole message. Because you want to send as little as possible. The less you send, the better. Plus, number 1, they don't want to read anymore. They didn't get back to you the first time. Number 2, I don't want you spending a lot of time pouring your heart and soul into something that's out there that may or may not come to fruition. I'm not talking about, well, Andy, that's not diligent. No, you got better things to do, right? You need to be up here circulating your resume. So lots of first send outs. Don't worry about this stuff down here and spending time and agonizing and mental anguish in following up with people who aren't getting back to you and don't love you. All right, now, if the boss doesn't respond, I'm not going to the ATS. I'm going to the HR person or the recruiter who I think is in charge. And I would find their email address and I would send it to them. And if they don't respond, then I would wait another couple of weeks. I would try them again. And if they don't respond, then I might shove it in the applicant tracking system and I really would kiss that goodbye. So that's how I would do that. And you might be thinking, well, Andy, that's a whole month. That's 90 people ago, right? Like that's the mentality you need to have. Don't try to convince people who are not open and welcoming of you that they need to talk to you. Okay? This is, believe me, there's tons of fish in the sea, whether you're dating, whether you're trying to find a job or whatever, right? That's the way I would roll. So I would do it that way, my friend. Lots of luck. All right. Another boot camper. Here we go. I'm really enjoying this because we got a lot of boot campers here today. And hopefully I'm getting some more boot campers so you can come with me. You're in good hands. You are. All right. Eric Jackson. I'm job searching. I'm currently unemployed. As a career changer, is it better to have a job because of the time it takes to change careers? Do I settle and take something else? So you said a couple things here that kind of, I want to say, mix with the messages I would give you. Number 1, if you decide you want to be a career changer, the first thing that I would do, Eric Jackson, is go watch the career changing module in the boot camp, which is the 4 stages of changing careers and the 12 steps that you need to do in the sequence that I give them to you. Exactly. That's the career changing methodology that I used successfully twice. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, you don't necessarily have to go down, all right? It depends what you're changing. And you need to lean on the foundational abilities that you've gained, the capabilities you have, the let's call them the softer skills, but the ones that align to your new career. Okay, so you've got to highlight those in your messages. But as a career changer, if I was changing careers and I was going to look for a job, I would be doing nothing 100% of the time. Literally, I would spend not 0.1 else. I would be networking to try to get into an organization for somebody to say to you, for somebody to say on your behalf, I work with this guy, I know this guy, or hey, this seems like a great guy. I think we should talk to him because I think he could do this. And he's looking to change, roles or careers, whatever. Okay, you got to lean on your network. I would not waste 1 second in an applicant tracking system. Okay, here again, same goes for you. You're up here, right? You're not sending your resume in an applicant tracking system because you're not going to beat out the younger folks who actually have more relevant experience than you do. So you got to go in through a back door. All right, so I don't think it's better to have a job because it takes if you're going to say to me, hey, well, hang on a second, I haven't eaten lunch in 3 days because I can't afford to put food on the table. That's different. Okay, so you've got to factor in what your situation is and how badly you want, to do that. But if it's me, I'm figuring out a way to make that change, and I'm figuring out a way to make it the fastest. Now, for you, quick tips here. The fastest way to change careers, and Eric, I have a video for you and everybody else on the YouTube channel. The fastest way to change careers is you look inside organizations that you have worked for before, even though you're not working now. Would somebody rehire you in a different capacity? You're a known commodity, and you know their industry, right? Is it something where you could take multiple steps, right? Is it the same? It's the same industry that I know. I was a product manager over here, but I want to be a business analyst, and I was in healthcare. Can you stay in the same industry? Right? At least you have knowns there, right? You have some kind of known. And I go on to a few others, but you need to think in those terms. And I think you might be surprised how quickly you could make that change. But I don't want you to settle unless you're making a mindful, deliberate, conscious choice to say, that's not settling. That's me designing my first step before I can get to the second step. Right? If I get in here, this puts me on the trajectory to get here. Eric, the other thing that you need to focus on is in the boot camp in module 1, there is a session about how to get moving in the right direction. This is for the Erics of the world and anybody who has many, many abilities, capabilities, and skill sets and is not sure what their path ought to be. I give you a way of triangulating the path for you to get in the lane to know that every step you take will not be wasted. This is very important. That's not in the public domain anywhere. So you need to check that out because that's vital for you. I don't know how much of the bootcamp you've gone through, but career changer module, make sure module 1 you go through the whole thing, but especially that one about getting yourself in the right trajectory. And I show you what pieces to evaluate and how to do that the fastest so that you're not wasting steps. And then I wouldn't be thinking of it as settling. I would be by design trying to get in at the entry point that makes the most sense, that puts you on the path, right? I always say to you guys, a lot of you want to solve your problems in 1 step when it's a 3-step process or it's a 2-step process. And a lot of what I see with people in the community is, if you'd have made that choice a year ago, think about where you'd be now, right? Some of you keep looking because you're holding out because you think you need to get it in one fell swoop. And what's happening is the time is dragging on. Instead of, you could have gotten in motion way over here and think about, I say this to companies, like, you all sat around for 6 months, we're recruiting for somebody with the ideal skills. Here you are 6 months later calling me. Imagine if you would have just hired somebody that you could have trained up and what they would look like now, right? I mean, this is the same kind of thing for you guys. All right, Eric, hope that helps. Lots of luck on that. Okay, couple of quick announcements for anybody who just jumped in. If you're loving this is an announcement. This is me begging you for a thumbs up. Click the like button, click the share button, make sure you're subscribed. Second thing is, don't forget, I got this little beauty here. It is a 4-dayer. I'm going to be teaching you the job interview mastery program that I have. It's 4 days. I'm going to help you with the prep. I'm going to help you with answering your questions. I'm going to help you with asking your questions, and I'm going to help you with following up. The boot camp is on special. You get these 6 beautiful sessions, January 22nd and February 4th on the outside, and then every day after that job interview mastery, you're going to be able to come to the private coaching sessions and get your questions answered. And the other thing is, I want you to make sure if you are on my email list, I've got some special emails outside of my normal weekly newsletters that are going to be coming to you with videos and other things that are very job interview centric. I've got one coming out on January 31st about the 3 types of job interview questions and how to answer them. It is a smoking video, 28 minutes and 8 seconds of sheer joy that I think you will love, and I hope you bookmark. But just, you got to make sure you are on the newsletter. All right, let's see if I can get, actually, can I say something here? Hold on. I want you guys to look at I want you to, Kat, thank you for that. And if you just joined us and you missed the part about May 14th, 2018, 3 hours plus of my time to 360 people, and no one enrolled in my job search boot camp, okay? I'll never forget the day. It's not a hard day because my perspective was I learned something. I got to share in that case, my career-changing methodology with 360 people who were part of that Zoom session, and that's 360 lives that I helped. And even though that did not turn into financial results, the thing that keeps me going is because my why is in order. And here's the other thing about you, anybody, and your frustrations. Your expectations drive a lot of frustration because the world is not the way you think it is. Like, why didn't 25, 30, 100 people buy my program, right? That I would have thought could have happened, but it didn't. But perspective is important because when you look at it as, okay, maybe I just didn't know and I was inexperienced at assessing that. How about I got to spend 3 hours teaching a whole bunch of people some really valuable stuff? How about maybe they went and they told their friends? How about maybe somebody bought something later and we didn't just make the association or whatever. But at the end of the day, the message here is when you get into something and you do something, job searching, your careers or whatever, if your results metric is not dialed in correctly, you're going to be screwed and you're going to be stressed. Okay? If my metric of victory that day was the amount of money that I generated from a revenue standpoint, I'd have been totally hosed, right? I'd have thrown in the towel and I'd have quit. But it wasn't that. I learned a ton. I got to teach a bunch of people. It's 360 people, probably 280 of them were new to my community. Like, there's a lot of great things that happened. My metric was, I'm going to give them a great show. And then something will happen as a fallout. I put a brick in my business, right? I'm building, I'm learning more data points and so on. I'm telling you this because this is the mentality I want you to take with your job searching. You go out there, where's my funnel, right? I put stuff in, stuff happens. You sending something out, that's the victory, okay? Confidence, you're learning, you're getting data, and so on. Believe me, this will happen down here. It will, if you stay at this, okay? The victory is in the doing. The joy is in the doing, okay? That you got to get your mind there. And job searching, while it is a painful act for a short period of time in your life, even if it's a year, that's a short period of time in your life. It really is. It might seem like an eternity. But think about if you broadened your perspective and how much you're learning by doing this stuff and the skills you're gaining. Somebody who's been job searching a year that's been going at it the right way, maybe they're being picky, maybe they're just not getting the right bites, maybe they haven't made the right adjustments. You're learning a ton, and you got to think of it that way. So it wasn't a hard day. It was a great day, and it's one I'll never forget. All right. Hope that helps. Hey, Sal, how you doing? Stacy's in there. Kathy Prince just joined. Awesome. Great to have you. George from Low Country. All right. Jody Cranston, how are you? I think the point about timing of emails sent on Sundays is interesting and relevant. It's crazy. We've double the open rate on Sundays. You would think I would send all my emails on Sunday. Maybe I'll just send you one every hour and then not send you any during the week. Just kidding. Okay, let me see if I can get another one in here. Let me see. Translator, review, and proofread. Okay. So, Banisha, translated, reviewed, and proofread the teaching materials from English to Malay for pre-uni students in Indonesia. Does this sound like a career highlight? So here's what I would do for you. So number one, the really important stuff when you put a highlight or any bullet on your resume is the benefit should be first. Okay, so the good news is you can go out on my YouTube channel and type the word highlight and it will come up. There's a video about how to write the ultimate resume bullet, and it's the one that the formula that I use for highlights. So what you want to talk about is, well, what actually happened as a result of what you did. So the activity itself, which what you did with the translation, the reviewing, and the putting it in place is your activity. That's not the highlight. The highlight is the benefit that was attained in this world as a result of you doing that. So how many students read it? How many, just take a guess. How many classrooms were in the wake of what you did that read what you wrote or read what you translated or any of that good stuff? Right? That's what we're looking for. There's cause and effect. Okay? It's effect first. That's the benefit. The cause is what you did. And the more you can quantify it, or the fact that you can quantify it, is better. All right, I hope that helps on that. All right, folks, I gotta get running. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out the Job Interview Mastery. If you want to get in the Job Search Bootcamp, the thing I didn't say about the bootcamp, I probably should have, is it's still on the special price. We actually, we raised it and then we pulled it back down after much evaluation, consideration, and just everything else that's going on in the world. I want to give you kind of a last chance here as we ease off the bundle package. Get in. It's a great program. If you got any questions about it, support@milewalk.com, and I will be seeing you Tuesday in your inbox with a great video. And the video on Tuesday is about how to get the job when you don't have all the qualifications, when you're just not quite there. So it's job interviewing related, and it's a really fun one. So hope to see you in your inbox and on the YouTube then. All right, you guys be great. Talk to you soon.